Hello YouTube, and thank you for watching my channel. Earlier in the week, I had my brother show how to paint a model and how to fix it and for his Warhammer 40k stuff that he does. And he's probably going to do a couple more of these because I think it's really interesting how he does it and how he gets these things set up. So what I did is I broke the video actually down into 15-minute parts or segments so that, I don't know about you guys, but I would rather watch it in 15-minute segments than I would to sit down and watch it in a 2-hour segment. So anyway, I broke it down into 15-minute segments, and here's the segments. This is going to kind of be the intro for every one of them, and I'm going to number them as we go. So without further ado, here's my brother Joe, and he's painting a model. On the first episode, he's going to explain the model to you, and then throughout the episode, he's going to explain what he's actually doing, why he's painting it, why he's found why he's going to paint it, and essentially he's going to walk you through the steps that he's done and he's learned through his trial and error on how to actually get these models looking so that he can sell them, because that's one of the things that he does, is he sells them to other people to be able to use as well. So without further ado, here's my brother Joe. Thank you.
All we're really doing is just drawing along the blue line. Drawing along the blue line. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. I don't talk as much doing the detail, just because you're usually focusing on getting that nice little stream right where you want it. So I apologize if I'm a little bit quieter than I was earlier in the video. But I want this to come out looking real nice, like. Come out looking pretty and done. There we go, there we go, there we go. That's starting to look nice. Starting to look real nice, especially how that blue pops against that silvery skin. You can still see it, like all the layers from the armored sand to the white to that nice silver wash. It's actually looking really nice in my opinion. And really that's all it matters down to, is whether or not you, the person painting and designing the model, likes the model. If you like the model, this was all a success. If you do not like the model, well, you only have yourself to blame, and it's time to start redoing the model. But that is the fun of it. Let's get this sucker. My blue is starting to wear out. Don't quite have as much of it left. as I did when I first started. Just blue, trim it, blue, trim it. Wherever there's trim, put that blue. Make that model look how you want it to. Make that saddle have a nice blue trim along the gray of the armor. There we go. It's starting to look a lot better, isn't it? Remember that all blue little thingy we had? And now look at it. It's not all blue. I'm cleaning off a lot of the gunk, extra gunk that's been building up. Look at that clay through there. Oh. Alright. I think I left it on for too long. So we stopped recording, so we missed just a little bit. I'm not sure if it's recording or not, or if it's out of batteries. What to name her mount yet. And then what each one is, you know, given with. And then their base stats. Technically, Abe is different than the other two, but their stats were exactly the same, so there was no reason to write another line of stacks. Here's my codex. Because that's much easier to carry around than, especially since I don't have a tablet, than my laptop. Which is one reason why I really, really, really wish that Games Workshop would come out with an actual codex for us. Everyone's like, oh yeah, you got an actual codex. No, we've got an online codex. And for all those people saying, it's like, well, why don't you just print it? Well, because that costs money, is one thing. Not everyone has, that ability and money. And two, that's a lot of ink that I can spend otherwhere. And three, I would rather have a book in my hands. I've bought every single one of the Dark Heresy books. I haven't bought the second edition ones yet, just because this is my, I'll be my first time running through it, is this game I've got. But I love having that book in my hand. As well as the fact that if they actually, freaking published a book for us, it'd make me feel like we're not so much just kind of pushed off to the side, like, oh yeah, they're sister players, they still exist. We should build a codex for them. There, we built it. We don't really care enough to actually, make it so that way they can buy it or print it off. Which I'm like, you guys already got the stuff to print it. Just, press the print button. Give us a hardback codex. Give us a softback codex. I don't care. Just give me a codex again. That would be awesome. I would be giddy again. I would feel really happy making me feel like I am, an actual valued customer. Just because I decide that I want to play nuns with guns because I feel like they kick butt. I mean, Space Marines. Woo, look at us. We're genetically modified, power armor wielding, bolt gun wielding, scary things. And they're kind of cool. But I think sisters are even more cool because they do almost everything the Space Marines do, but they're not genetically modified. They have power armor. They don't have the black carapace, so the power armor my legs are falling asleep. So the power armor isn't as, uber as it is for the Space Marines. but they still do really awesome in it. Heck, one of my favorite books, Faith and Fire, I think it was. Anyway, it was one of my favorite Black Library books. Her armor actually gets damaged, so that way the powered portion of it turns off, but she still kicks butt because she's a sister. And so she muscles through the power armor being powered down and climbs back up the cliff face to go defeat the bad guy in unpowered power armor, which I think is awesome. That's one reason why I like the Imperial Guard better than the Space Marine, is because they're everyday people facing these horrible horrors that, you know, the Space Marines face on a daily basis. And they don't have the cool bolt gun. They don't have that genetically modified. They're not, you know, they're people. They're you and me. They're not uber killers that have been trained since infancy. Well, not infancy. Let's see, I think they have to be pre-pubescent. So they haven't been trained since pre-pubescency to, you know, kick butt and take names. They're people like you and me who decide that they want to fight, or are conscripted to fight, to protect their home, their people, their lands. And I think that's awesome. You know, that they're willing to go there and fight for their people, and they face these horrific horrors with the lasgun, which, you know, is actually a pretty dang awesome weapon when you break down its stats. It's just not, you know, as destructive as the bolt gun, or as powerful as a las cannon, or yada yada. But all in all, it's actually a really dang good gun. Alright, I'm just touching up a little bit, getting the plates of armor that I missed, and making sure just to re-go over some of the stuff. That's why I said don't worry so much, is because you always have a chance to paint back over. I mean, until you, heck, even after you put the varnish on, you can still continue to paint. The only thing is that after you put the varnish on, it actually starts to, yeah, it's best not to, because then you're going to pile up and it doesn't look as good. Alright. Now, the next thing we should probably start on is the orc, because his colors are the next big colors. Now, most orcs dress in dark colors. So let's get me some nice dark brown. This is some nice military brown. I think this will work great as a shirt. There we go. And see, that's why I told you to do that, because then it makes it much easier to paint with. I like to start by taking the paint off of the lid, just because it's easier to see and easier to do. Alright, so let's start painting our orc. Let's give him this nice brown shirt. Some nice brown pants, make him look, I think, more like leather. Getting high on paint, sniffing up the wazoo. Don't paint the metal bits. Probably should have started him before I painted the painted this big fella. Painted Rawl, just because I have a bigger chance of accidentally hitting Rawl with the paints. Let's go ahead and paint his shoes brown too. And then let's get this. I'm actually going to base it, because I have I'm going to do something else with the base, so I'm going to get grass all up and on here afterwards, so I'm not going to worry about painting the base yet, just because then I'm going to have to repaint it. Ooh, I accidentally got a little too much paint. So let's hope that I can get this paint off, so that way it doesn't take away the nice detail work on this orc. Orc are actually really, really fun. They're one of the most fun armies. Basically, they're living fungus. And that's one of the really, really fun parts about them, is that they are living fungus. Let's go ahead and paint his pants brown too. And then I'll change up the color of the pants and shoes by using washes near the end of the paint. So that way it'll give it a different design, but it's a lot easier to paint right now, especially since how hard it is to reach up in there without nicking and hitting everything else. So that's another one of the wonderful things about washes, is because there's all these different colors, you can paint the same thing, you know, cover him all in one color, and then use the washes to get it so that way it's not actually all one color. Let's get around that arm. That's actually a leather bag, so I'll probably paint that with the leather wash, just because I'm going to paint the leather straps with a leather wash. Now this may look a little bit lazy, but so this is a lot of model. And it's okay to be a little lazy sometimes. It's really okay to be a little lazy sometimes. You know, I like to put thought and detail into my models. Heck yeah.
Thank you for watching how Joe paints and explains and looks at these models. Now, like I said earlier, these are broken up into parts, so please stay tuned for the other parts as well, as he explains and breaks down what he's actually doing with the models and what he's actually painting them. I know that you guys don't really want to listen to me when you're looking at these models, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys, just like, subscribe, leave comments about what he's painting. Maybe you come up with other ideas or other things on how to do models as well, whether it's Warhammer 40k, D&D, or any other type of models. Now, if you have come up with more information or you want more information from Joe, please do leave a comment below. Also, like I said earlier, please like and subscribe. That means a lot to us. That shows that these are the type of videos or types of information that you want getting out there. Because like I said, this YouTube is just kind of a random. We believe in fun and we believe in education, and we want to get it out there. So again, stay tuned for the other parts, and we'll go ahead and get you on to the next one. Thank you very much.